Hello and welcome back to English with Joe. This is the podcast where we learn practical English for real life. Today we continue our airport journey. This is At the Airport Part 2. In Part 1, we learned about the terminal, check-in, baggage, and security. Now we move forward. We will go to the gate, get on the plane, fly, land, and collect our bags. I will explain every new word slowly. I will also give you an example sentence for each one. Let us begin. Our first word is gate. The gate is the door where you leave the building and enter the plane. Every gate has a number or a letter and a number. For example, gate 12 or gate B4. Your boarding pass shows your gate number. Here is an example sentence. My flight leaves from gate 14. The next phrase is gate change. A gate change means your flight will now leave from a different gate. This happens quite often, so always listen to the announcements. Here is an example sentence. There was a gate change, so we walked to gate 20. The next word is announcement. An announcement is information spoken through a loudspeaker. The airport uses announcements to tell you about boarding, delays, and gate changes. Here is an example sentence. The announcement said our flight was delayed by 30 minutes. Now, let us talk about boarding. Boarding means getting on the plane. When the staff say boarding is now open, you can walk to the plane. Here is an example sentence. Boarding starts 30 minutes before takeoff. The next phrase is boarding group. A boarding group, sometimes called a zone, is a small group of passengers who board at the same time. Airlines call the groups 1, 2, 3, and so on. Your group number is printed on your boarding pass. Here is an example sentence. Please wait for your boarding group to be called. The next phrase is priority boarding. Priority boarding means some passengers get on the plane first. Business class passengers, families with small children, and people who need help usually board first. Here is an example sentence. I paid a little extra for priority boarding. Now the word queue. A queue is a line of people waiting. In American English, people say line, and in British English, people say queue. Here is an example sentence. There was a long queue at the gate. The next phrase is final call. Final call is the last announcement for your flight. If you hear final call, you must run to the gate immediately. Here is an example sentence. This is the final call for passengers traveling to Rome. Now we walk down the jet bridge. A jet bridge is the covered walkway that connects the building to the plane door. It looks like a long gray tunnel. Here is an example sentence. We walked down the jet bridge and stepped onto the plane. At the door, you will meet the cabin crew. The cabin crew are the staff who work inside the plane. One member of the cabin crew is called a flight attendant. The flight attendant helps passengers, serves food, and keeps everyone safe. Here is an example sentence. The flight attendant showed me where to put my bag. The person who flies the plane is the pilot. The pilot's assistant is called the co-pilot. The pilot speaks to passengers from the cockpit. The cockpit is the small room at the front where the pilot sits. Here is an example sentence. The pilot welcomed us on board. Notice that phrase, on board. On board means inside the plane, the train, or the ship. Here is an example sentence. Welcome on board, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let us find our seat. Seats are arranged in rows. A row is a line of seats going across the plane. Each seat has a number and a letter. For example, 23C. The number is the row, and the letter is the seat in that row. Here is an example sentence. My seat is 23C, next to the aisle. Above your head, there is an overhead bin. An overhead bin is the closed shelf where you put your hand luggage. Some people call it an overhead locker or a compartment. Here is an example sentence. Please put your bag in the overhead bin. Under the seat in front of you, there is space for a small bag. The staff may say this sentence. Please place small items under the seat in front of you. Now we hear a useful phrase from the crew. Please fasten your seatbelt. To fasten means to close or to lock something. The opposite is to unfasten, which means to open it. Here is an example sentence. The captain asked us to fasten our seatbelts. Another common phrase is tray table. The tray table is the small table on the back of the seat in front of you. The crew will ask you to put it up before takeoff. Here is an example sentence. Please put your tray table up and your seat upright. Upright means straight, not leaning back. Here is an example sentence. Please return your seat to the upright position. Before we fly, there is a safety demonstration. A safety demonstration is a short show that teaches you what to do in an emergency. The crew show you the life vest, the oxygen mask, and the emergency exits. A life vest is a jacket that keeps you floating on water. An oxygen mask is a small mask that gives you air to breathe. An emergency exit is a special door used only when there is danger. Here is an example sentence. Your life vest is under your seat. Now, the plane starts to move. The first movement is called taxiing. To taxi means the plane drives slowly on the ground. Here is an example sentence. We are taxiing to the runway now. The runway is the long, flat road where planes take off and land. Here is an example sentence. The plane is waiting on the runway. Takeoff is the moment the plane leaves the ground and goes up. Landing is the moment the plane comes down and touches the ground. Here is an example sentence. Takeoff was smooth, and the landing was perfect. Smooth means soft, calm, and comfortable. The opposite word is bumpy, which means shaky and rough. Here is an example sentence. The flight was a little bumpy over the mountains. Now the plane is flying high. We say the plane is at cruising altitude. Altitude means height above the ground. Cruising altitude is the normal flying height, usually very high in the sky. Here is an example sentence. We are now at our cruising altitude of 10,000 meters. Sometimes the air moves and the plane shakes. This shaking is called turbulence. Turbulence is normal and it is not dangerous, but it can feel uncomfortable. Here is an example sentence. We are expecting some turbulence, so please stay in your seat. During the flight, the crew serve refreshments. Refreshments are light food and drinks. The crew may ask you this question. Would you like something to drink? You can answer politely with these sentences. Just water, please. A coffee with milk, please. Nothing for me, thank you. Some airlines sell food on board. When food is not included, we say it is not complimentary. Complimentary means free, at no extra cost. Here is an example sentence. Tea and coffee are complimentary on this flight. Now the plane begins to descend. To descend means to go down. The noun is descent. Here is an example sentence. We have started our descent into London. The crew will say this sentence. We will be landing shortly. Shortly means very soon. Here is an example sentence. We will be landing shortly, so please fasten your seatbelt. When the plane stops, we disembark. To disembark means to get off the plane. A simpler way to say it is to get off. Here is an example sentence. Please remain seated until it is your turn to disembark. Now we are inside the arrivals building. We follow the signs to passport control. Passport control, also called immigration, is the place where an officer checks your passport. Here is an example sentence. The queue at passport control was very long. The officer may ask you some simple questions. What is the purpose of your visit? This question means, why are you coming to this country? You can answer with these sentences. I am here on holiday. I am here for business. I am visiting my family. Another common question is this one. How long will you stay? You can answer like this. I will stay for 1 week. I will stay for 10 days. Sometimes you need a visa. A visa is official permission to enter a country. The officer puts a stamp in your passport. A stamp is an ink mark that shows the date you arrived. Here is an example sentence. The officer stamped my passport and said, enjoy your stay. Next, we go to baggage claim. Baggage claim, also called baggage reclaim, is the area where you collect your checked bags. The bags arrive on a carousel. A carousel is a moving belt that goes around in a circle. Here is an example sentence. Our bags are coming out on carousel 4. If your bag does not arrive, we say your baggage is lost or delayed. You must report it at the baggage desk. Here is an example sentence. My suitcase is missing, so I need to report it. You can use this sentence at the desk. My bag did not arrive on the carousel. The staff will ask for your baggage tag. The baggage tag is the small paper or sticker with your bag number. Here is an example sentence. Please keep your baggage tag until you collect your bag. After the bags, we walk to customs. Customs is the place where officers check the things you are bringing into the country. There are usually 2 channels, or 2 ways to go. Nothing to declare is the green channel. Goods to declare is the red channel. To declare means to tell the officers officially what you are carrying. You must declare large amounts of money, some food, plants, and expensive new items. Here is an example sentence. I have nothing to declare, so I walked through the Green Channel. The officer might ask this question. Do you have anything to declare? You can answer simply. No, nothing to declare. Yes, I have 2 bottles of wine. Now we are through customs and we reach the arrivals hall. The arrivals hall is the big open area where people wait for passengers. Many people hold signs with names on them. Here is an example sentence. My friend was waiting for me in the arrivals hall. Finally, we need transport to the city. A shuttle bus is a bus that travels a short route again and again. A taxi rank, or taxi stand in American English, is the place where taxis wait for passengers. A rideshare is a car you book with an app on your phone. Here is an example sentence. We took the shuttle bus to the train station. You can use these sentences to ask for help. Excuse me, where is the taxi rank? How much is a taxi to the city center? Is there a train to the city from the airport? The word pickup is also useful. A pickup is when someone comes to collect you by car. The drop-off is where the car leaves you before your flight. Here is an example sentence. My brother met me at the pickup area. Now, let us review everything with a short story. Anna landed in Madrid after a long flight. The flight was smooth, but there was some turbulence over the mountains. The pilot said they would be landing shortly. Anna fastened her seatbelt and put her tray table up. When the plane stopped, the crew opened the door and the passengers began to disembark. Anna walked down the jet bridge into the arrivals building. At passport control, the officer asked about the purpose of her visit. Anna said she was there on holiday for 1 week. The officer stamped her passport and smiled. Then Anna went to baggage claim and waited at Carousel 3. Her suitcase arrived after 10 minutes. She walked through the Green Channel because she had nothing to declare. In the arrivals hall, her cousin was waiting with a big sign. They took a shuttle bus to the city center, and Anna's holiday began. That is the end of part 2. Let us remember the key words one more time. Gate, boarding, boarding group, priority boarding and final call. Jet bridge, cabin crew, flight attendant, pilot and cockpit. Row, overhead bin, seatbelt, tray table and upright. Safety demonstration, life vest, oxygen mask, and emergency exit. Taxi, runway, takeoff, landing, turbulence, and cruising altitude. Refreshments, complimentary, descend and disembark. Passport control, visa, stamp, and baggage claim. Carousel, baggage tag, customs and declare. Arrivals hall, shuttle bus, taxi rank, pickup, and drop-off. Practice these words out loud today. Say each word 3 times, and then make your own sentence. Thank you for learning with me. This was English with Joe. See you in part 3, where we travel by train and by bus. Goodbye, and keep speaking confidently.